Hang out with me for a minute while we turn this into this. Some homemade fresh goat milk yogurt. This is Lainey, our Nubian doe. She's trained to go to her milking stand when she sees us coming out with her bucket of food.
You have to get down, sweetheart.
We milk Lainey twice a day and we get a quart of milk each time. I wanted to make a large batch of fresh yogurt, so I waited until I had collected 4 quarts of milk, which was a gallon, and I added those to my Instant Pot. I put my thermometer in there and then I set the Instant Pot to boil, and then I just kind of walked away from it and let it heat up and I enjoyed the sunset for a little bit. I stirred the milk occasionally so it wouldn't scorch on the bottom, but it was just taking too long to heat up to 180 degrees, so I switched it over to my stovetop. That got the job done much faster. I then had to let this cool back down to 110 degrees. So I took my whole milk yogurt that I was using as my starter and I brought that down to room temperature. While I waited for my goat milk to cool back down, I hung out with this tree frog that was just chilling at my front door. Once my goat milk cooled back down to 110 degrees, I added a little bit of that into my yogurt starter. I stirred it up to thin it out a little bit so then I could add it back into my pot of goat milk. I used about a tablespoon of yogurt starter per quart of goat milk. My favorite part was just throwing that back into my Instant Pot and setting it on the yogurt setting overnight for 8 hours.
8 hours later.
The next morning, I removed the lid and found that my yogurt had thickened up and it was actually nice and creamy. I wanted to let this thicken up even more to get a Greek style type of yogurt, so I lined a colander with some cheesecloth. This allows the whey to strain out from my yogurt. The whey is rich in protein and packed with vitamins, minerals, and probiotics, so I of course save it for many other uses. We were all ready for breakfast, so instead of waiting for all that whey to strain out, I did cheat and go ahead and get started. We took some fresh strawberries, some blueberries, and of course some honey to sweeten it up a bit, and then topped it off with a really awesome granola, which added a nice crunchy extra flavor. This turned out so delicious. I consider it a blessing that I was able to take milk from our goat Lainey and turn it into this amazing, healthy, yummy yogurt for my family. Next up will be some homemade goat milk cheese and soap. This is what makes homesteading worth it.